Wow, Scream 2 is not only a phenomenal horror movie in its own right, it's also a brilliant sequel movie as well. Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, Lifestyle Critic. I hope you're having a brilliant day. So in this video we are going to be reviewing Scream 2, which is the perfect example of how to really do a movie sequel properly, as it makes it bigger, better and more elaborate than the first movie was, but it doesn't overdo it and doesn't lose the core identity of what made the first movie and the brand so iconic and so beloved. And it also brings back all of the main survivors from the first movie, as well as introducing and inserting new wicked characters into the mix, whilst also making fun of sequels. Wow, this movie honestly was just so wicked, so iconic, and I literally cannot wait to break it down for you in this movie review. So we open up another Scream movie with yet again another legendary and super iconic and super shocking death sequence. This time it has two people in a cinema complex, which is doing a preview screening of Stab, which is a bit of a film in a film, where we get to see the first movie's death sequence with the Casey Becker character, played brilliantly by Drew Barrymore, being recreated in this cinema complex, where we see two new superstars being killed themselves. I just felt like this whole opening sequence was so genius, especially given the fact that it's in a massive crowd, and it really does show how a cinema movie can be really creepy, as well as when this movie first aired, it was obviously being shown in a cinema complex, so literally it must have made all of the audience members really terrified as well, and everyone in the cinema complex has a ghost mask. I honestly feel like the opening sequence was just absolutely wicked. And then we get reintroduced to the Sydney Prescott character, who is now on a college campus and once again is terrorized by Ghostface, who is killing a lot of people around her and is targeting people whose names match the deaths of the first film. So it's a bit of a copycat killer, and then we kind of put all of the clues together and see who is going to survive this time around. Now, from a positives point of view, I absolutely love the fact that this is now being based in a college campus. I think all of the different areas within a college space are just coming alive so well. And similarly, I feel like it puts a bit of a chill down everyone's spine in terms of seeing what life on college campus can be like. And also, I feel like it blends once again horror and comedy so well, whilst also really poking fun at sequels, and how they always are never really able to get the same magic in a bottle that made the first movie really successful. But actually, like I said, they do a good job in terms of making this movie really stand out in its own right, as it's a lot more elaborate. All of the death sequences are really terrifying. The fact that there's so many suspects, I think they did such a good job in making you think that it could literally be anyone from this entire movie. I think they did that really well, and also at the same time, loads of red herrings, so really misleading you into thinking and being really confident that it is one person, whereas actually the final reveal, the killer twist right at the end of this movie, was just so unexpected and really good. And on that point, you really get to see how psychotic, once again, the killers are in this movie. And also they use videotapes, so all of the deaths are being recorded, and that sequence where you get to see Courteney Cox and David Arquette's characters of Gale Weathers and Dewey seeing that all of Gale's footage would suddenly turn into Ghostface killing someone really was really terrifying. And on that point, it really does demand a second viewing, as well as then when you see it the second time, you can see all of the clues being pieced together, which I just feel like is so wicked in this movie. However, from a negative point of view, I've always thought that if they're going to kill off the Randy character, they really could have and should have made his death sequence so much more iconic and so much more epic than they did, instead of him just being dragged behind a van and then just seeing him being killed off somewhat off screen. But I guess they did show that nobody is safe in this entire world, and also it literally did make it seem as if anybody could have been the murderer. And I guess the phone call with the Randy character was pretty chilling, and on that point as well, all of the phone calls that the Ghostface character makes are just so wicked. And so all in all, I do feel like from a storyline point of view, this movie is really strong. So once again, the cast and characters in Scream 2 are just absolutely wicked. Like I said, I love the fact that we've got everyone back from the first Scream movie, and we've also got brand new characters inserted into this mix, and they've literally made it so wicked. I love how there's a lot of famous people actually in all of the Scream movies. I feel like the Scream and casting directors are so good in who they choose, as they really do bring loads of famous faces together, which does such a good job in drawing an audience together. For example, I love the fact that we've got Tori Spelling having a bit of a cameo in this movie playing Sydney Prescott in the Stab movies. Just so good. Speaking of which, we've of course got Neve Campbell leading the way as the Sydney Prescott character. You can see that Sydney is now a lot more tougher and a lot more stronger, but is also suffering, understandably, a lot of PTSD given everything that she went through. And I feel like that theatrical scene about halfway through in this movie was just so powerful, as you can really feel all of the terror that the Sydney character is going through. And I feel like on that point, all of the Scream movies have always been quite ahead of their time. And I just feel like watching this movie now with the lens that we have right now on mental health, etc., I just feel like the Sydney Prescott character is just so wicked, and once again leads this movie absolutely brilliantly, and is unfortunately again the main target by Ghostface. We've also got Courteney Cox, who brilliantly recaptures the Gale Weathers character, still very steely, still so determined, and is now a best-selling author. And I absolutely loved all of the references to Jennifer Aniston and to David Schwimmer from this character, as obviously they are her friends' co-stars, and I feel like they linked all of that into this movie really well. Obviously this franchise is just so well known for all of its satire moments, and I just feel like all of these little hints and nods are just so cool. We've also got David Arquette, who is back as the Dewey character, and now because this character is so popular, or was so popular from the first movie, this time they've even given him his own theme tune. I thought it was really realistic as well how this character is always limping. I love all of the Dewey and the Gale Weathers scenes together, and I just feel like this character is just so good in terms of bringing the light relief and the comedy value. In this series, we've of course got Jamie Kennedy back, as well as the Randy character, and I love how this character and all of the other media students actually were talking about sequels, so that sequence was really cool. Like I said in the story section, I really do feel like they could have given this character a much better send-off, but it was at least really great to see him back, and the death sequence that they did have, the reveal of that, was just so shocking, especially by the Gale Weathers character. We've also got Sarah Michelle Gellar playing Cece in this movie, so good. I feel like her death sequence was really shocking in that mansion house alone, really did put a chill down everyone's spine. And it was really great that she was even able to film this, as she was doing I Know What You Did Last Summer, and of course Buffy the Vampire Slayer at the same time, so it was really cool to see this character here. We've also got Psycho Mickey here as well, doing all of the videotaping. I feel like this character was really great, especially his love and obsession and the danger of seeing what impact movies can have on people's psyche. We've got a new best friend for Sydney Prescott, this time being the Hayley character. Absolutely love the sequences with Hayley and with Sydney, especially in that brilliant car chase sequence. We've also got her new boyfriend Derek, and of course Billy Loomis was revealed to be the killer in the first movie, so you're always thinking that maybe the Derek character is going to be the one behind it all. And obviously there were some leaks with this entire script back when it was being released, and they even did make fun of this and reference it in the third Scream movie. And I believe in the leaked script, I think it was a fake ending, but it was going to see that Derek and Hayley were going to be revealed to be the killers behind the mask. But I always felt like this was a bit of a fake and misleading direction, as obviously who we do see as the killer reveals are absolutely brilliant. And we've also got Cotton Weary being a bit of a main character, this time around really unhinged and really understandable. The desire of really wanting to clear his name in the media persona, and really wanting Neve Campbell Sydney Prescott character to help him facilitate this. And I feel like all of the danger that this character was posing to Sydney was really good, and so I feel like it was really great from a cast and character's point of view, as you really didn't know who on earth the murderer is, and it literally did go from one character to another, so I just feel like they used all of their characters so brilliantly. So from a visuals point of view, Scream 2, honestly, is just absolutely brilliant. Of course it was filmed quite a long time ago, but similarly with Scream 1, this movie is so timeless. And I just feel like all of the different aspects in this film are so good. So for example, the college campus vibe was really great. I feel like it really did put a chill down everyone's spine, especially as everyone is really constrained in this area. So you can see so much chaos that Ghostface is causing to all of the different people in this space, all of the different frat parties and all of the different things that are happening. For example, the media section, I feel like when Dewey and Gale Weathers were being chased by Ghostface, that sequence was so brilliant. And when Gale was just trying to run away from Ghostface and could see Dewey being stabbed by Ghostface, god, that sequence was just absolutely terrifying. And then when Ghostface is just so desperate to try to get into the place that Gale is at, I thought that sequence was really cool. The car chase sequence with Sydney and with Hayley in the backseat of a police car where they can't get out of it, and where Ghostface is trying to drive them away, that sequence was absolutely unbelievable. And also, the fact that Ghostface is recording all of their kills, I think they could have used that a little bit more, but nonetheless, really, really was terrifying, and I just feel like this movie was just so phenomenal from a visuals point of view. So from a comparisons point of view, given the fact that the first movie was just so successful, I think they did a really, really good job with the sequel to be at the same level as the first movie and really tried to up the ante a lot more. The killer reveal right at the end was so unexpected and so brilliant. And like I said, all of the death sequences that you see all of these characters in are just so terrifying. And in terms of comparing it to its other competition, God, I feel like Scream 2 is so much better than its sequel counterparts and just better than other horror movies in general. For example, a lot stronger than I Still Know What You Did Last Summer, so much better than the Chucky sequels, a lot better than the Fear Street sequel, a lot better than Faculty. I just feel like Scream 2 is just such a brilliant horror movie. So overall, I'm sure you can tell I really, really enjoyed Scream 2. I think it balanced comedy and horror really, really well. It continued from the first awesome movie really, really well and just innovated to make things really, really terrifying, really, really gripping, and all of the characters, all of the death sequences, all of the jump scare moments, and especially all of the whodunit guessing aspects of this film were really, really wicked, and I'm sure nobody was able to guess the final reveal that was happening at the end of this movie. And so for all of these reasons, I have to give the Scream sequel, Scream 2, a massive 7.5 out of 10. Now I'd love to hear what you thought of Scream 2, so let me know what you thought of it in the comment section below. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you in my next video.